Hey, boy and all, why do you always talk about games we already know? We want to discover niche games. You're bloody right. I'm not here just to talk only about successful titles. We're diving into the hidden indies too. That's the main reason of this channel. Games that might not catch your eye at first glance, but behind them lies a story of sacrifice and dedication from the developer. Every game has a story. That's why I decided to talk about this random game today. I want to give everyone a chance to be heard, and that includes this developer. So, let's talk about the game itself. POLYBOMBER was developed by Pipe Games, a small indie team that started out as two longtime gamers who decided to make their own titles. They had coding and design experience, so it felt natural to jump into game development. The game is a fast-paced arcade experience. Think of it as a mix between classic wave shooters like Space Invaders and modern incremental mechanics. You're constantly dropping bombs, dodging chaos, and trying to extract your points before the game overwhelms you. That extraction mechanic is actually one of the unique twists here. Instead of just handing you points, the game forces you to play smart and strategic. And here's the thing, POLYBOMBER is already on Steam. For a small indie team, that's a huge milestone. Publishing on Steam isn't just about uploading a file. It's about building something stable enough to pass through the process, setting up store pages, handling translations, and making sure the game doesn't crash the moment someone clicks play. That's no small feat. Let's break down the design. The UI is pretty standard, nothing fancy or heavily customized, and you can feel that right away. It's functional, but it doesn't scream personality. That said, everything else feels solid. The menus are complete. The game is translated into multiple languages, and the structure is well defined. From a developer's perspective, I see POLYBOMBER as a game with strong foundations. It's like a house with sturdy walls but still waiting for a fresh coat of paint. The gameplay loop is there, the systems are in place, and the potential is obvious. Of course, there are areas that need work. Mouse gameplay could be smoother. And here's my personal gripe. Joystick compatibility. Ever since I started using a controller on PC, I can't go back. So, for me, joystick support is a must. But here's the thing. These aren't deal breakers. They're opportunities. And that's what excites me about games like this. You can see the growth path. You can imagine what the game could become with more updates and polish. Now, let's peek behind the curtain. I asked the developers a few questions, and their answers really highlight the indie grind. They drew inspiration from incremental games like Nodebuster and classics like Space Invaders. The concept grew out of trial and error, experimenting with a 2D arcade feel until it evolved into something unique. Level design is all about chaos. As you progress, new enemies and obstacles appear, making each stage harder than the last. Balancing was done through playtesting and fine-tuning, especially since the game includes powerful upgrades that could easily break the system if not handled carefully. One of the funnest challenges they faced was a bug where damage numbers multiplied themselves. Imagine hitting an enemy and suddenly dealing absurdly high damage, one-shotting everything. Sounds fun, but obviously not sustainable. They traced it back to Unity's compiling process, which shows how unpredictable development can be. Speaking of Unity, that's the engine they used. No fancy third-party tools, no outsourced assets. Everything from music to art to code was done in-house. That's impressive, but also exhausting. It means every bug, every design choice, every late-night coding session was on their shoulders. So, what makes POLYBOMBER special? For me, it's the combination of simplicity and potential. It's minimalistic, but it has a unique twist with the extraction mechanic. It's chaotic, but it's also strategic. And most importantly, it's a reminder that indie games don't need to be perfect to be worth playing. I believe in games like this because they represent the raw creativity of developers who are still learning, experimenting, and pushing themselves. And honestly, that's inspiring. So, here's my challenge to you. Give niche games a chance. Support the underdogs. And if you've played POLYBOMBER, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll keep following its journey. And I'll keep failing miserably at level 2. Thanks for watching.